Hey there, guys. It is John C. Morley, Sir Entrepreneur here, coming at you tonight, which is a Wednesday evening. It's May 25th. Great to have all of you here with me today. Great to have my new people visiting, and hopefully you'll become loyal, like many of the people that have been on for a long time. Also want to thank the people that are coming back, my favorite colleagues, friends, and associates. Great to have you back here again and collaborating and soaking in this great knowledge. And for the new people, every single day we have a master topic for the basically the whole week, starting with Saturday and it ends on Friday. And then we have some mini subtopics that talk about that master topic every single night. So you'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, there's a QR code at the top right. Take your phone, scan that QR code. Once you scan it, you'll get over to my link tree with lots of great information to inspire you and help you become a better version of yourself and help others become better versions of themselves as well. So great to have you here. And if you are wondering what is that topic for tonight, well, wonder no more. Watch what you say. We're on episode number 5. Now, this has been kind of interesting because when we watch, we say, I've got to get a glass of water here. When you watch what you say, you are a person of deliberate action. I'll give an example. So I had a gentleman before, part of a volunteer organization that I'm part of, actually president of. And, you get these people that pop in because they want to be part of something, but they can't commit enough to even find time to meet me except for a late Saturday afternoon or a Sunday. And I have to say to myself, gee, self, I can make myself really flexible to meet this person, but then why do I want to do that? Because let's really watch what he's saying, not just what I'm saying. And the fact that they can't make time is saying to me that my thing is not as important to them. A job's more important, or things they're working on is more important. And again, I'm not here to judge, but what I want to tell you is watch what you say is not just about you, but watch what you say because you watch what others say. And that can be a very big difference between you becoming successful and you becoming frustrated and going to what I call this endless loop or circle. And so when we think about the words, watch what you say, I'm not saying somebody's going to get there, um, you know, with a magnifying glass or a camera and saying, okay, let me watch everything. No, it's they're going to be alert to things you're saying. For example, if you tell somebody, I'm really not interested, right? And then later on, they come back and say, I'm really interested. Well, you say, well, gee, why are you really interested? Well, the reason you're really interested, I'll tell you why. See, you don't really know that you're interested, but you're saying you're interested, so I can't believe you. Thus, when I say watch what you say, remember I said you never get a second chance to make a first impression. If you tell me that you don't have time or you're not able right now, why would you be able to in the future? What would change? So, watch what you say is very important because it will shape not only your mind, but other people in your life. That's friends, that's colleagues, and associates, that's people that currently respect you, and people whose respect you are trying to gain. Watch what you say is all about an understanding of people. Hmm. An understanding of people. Hmm. So what you're saying, John, is if I understand somebody, right, and they say something to me, and what they say, this is going to be interesting, does it match what they convey? Huh? What do you mean? All right. So if somebody says to you, for example, do you agree with me? And you say, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. You're sending mixed messages. Or if they say, well, do you support me? Yeah, I absolutely support you. No, you don't. You've got your arms folded. So your body, when it's not in congruence with your words, is going to cause people to, guess what? See a red flag. And so when I say watch what you say, today I want to talk about the fact of body language. That's really important. So, uh, different things that are said in body language, and we'll do a whole thing on body language. But I just want to get over the basics right now, and these basics are really key. Did you know that we can only spot lies with 54% accuracy? There are over 20 muscles in the face that make up over 10,000 facial expressions. That's quite amazing. And how we decode this language, well, that's very, very interesting. So, what percent of communication is, let's say, verbal or nonverbal? So, the percentage of communication that's nonverbal is over 61 to 80%. The percentage of communication that's verbal is only about 0 to 20%. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? So you have to do a couple things. One, you have to make yourself look approachable. If you're not approachable and relaxed, people are not going to want to even come near you. So there are different types of things people do with their body language, right? Um, Sometimes if people have their arms, folded, that means they're closed off to you, even though they say they're open, they're really not. Another one would be the eyebrow flash. They could show interest professionally, like you raise your eyebrow up a little bit, or it also can show romantic interest depending on the context, or can show some social interest to a conversation or something like that. So when we think about things like that, it's important to understand, and also to show somebody that they like the others. You want to do this in a way that's non-threatening, right? Maybe it's the equal handshake that you give, where you're not trying to overpower the person. I had somebody many years ago. It was um, an elderly gentleman when I probably was only in my, I'm going to say maybe early years of maybe under a teenager. And I used to hate going to see him because every time I went to see him, my parents always wanted me to go shake his hand. And he always would crush my knuckles. And I hated that. He thought it was funny, but I hated that. So an equal handshake is very important. You have to have good eye contact. You have to have a good smile. Okay. The arm with that slight bend, fingers pointing downward while approaching the other person's hand. Okay, so that's really important. And the equal pressure. Okay, slight forward lean toward the other person, and a release after 1 to 2 seconds. You don't hold there for like 20 or 30 seconds. That could be a problem. When you mirror somebody without knowing you're mirroring them, you're in rapport with that person. You're in rapport with that person. Another important thing, people say make eye contact, right? You want to make slight eye contact, not like 100% eye contact, because when you do that, that's showing that you're marking like your territory, and it shows that you're being very aggressive. Okay, so when somebody puts those kind of eye marks towards you, there's a problem. So you want to make eye contact just 30% of the time, and that can really help your level of rapport. Okay. So you can also tell if somebody's smile is, let's say, real or is the smile fake. Well, a lot of times, if somebody's over smiling, um, it could be a fake smile because maybe it doesn't have the right characteristic of a smile. It might just be too dipped, right? Um, if the eyes are too wide open, that's not a very good smile, right? It's a forced smile. When you see somebody that has that like a genuine smile, you can tell, right? You can tell. Um, what does it mean when somebody tilts their head to one side? It's a sign of someone being open to your conversation or to you, right? Another important one I think that's oftentimes overlooked is the open palms. What does that mean? They're being honest, they're being sincere. Okay. I know one that would happen a lot of times um, was the hand in the pockets. Do you remember that? The hand in the pockets. And so hand in the pockets is an interesting one. So when somebody has their hand in the pockets, it basically is kind of indicating that, hey, I'm better than you. And I, you know, this is how I'm going to be, and I'm going to be superior to you. Right. Pretty interesting. But most people don't take time to understand this. If someone crosses their ankles and they're sitting across from you, probably uncomfortable with the way the situation is going right now. What if somebody takes their fingers and they kind of, put them together, right? They kind of like put them together like this. Um, they're trying to comfort themselves with their hands and let themselves know that they're secure while feeling their hands together. It's a good idea if you try want to get ending a meeting, you may want to do this, and that's going to kind of indicate to everybody else you kind of want to end. Um, have you ever been in a situation where I'll give you an example that they do the thumb hidden in the pocket, right? So the thumb hidden in the pocket with the other fingers out. Um, like either so basically the thumbs are either hidden away from view or such as they could be inside the pockets or wrapped around other fingers. Okay, you probably have seen that before, and maybe not. And so what it means is it's a display of a lower self-confidence. Hiding the thumbs usually indicates concern, insecurity, or feelings of a threat. Okay. People that have their hands in their pockets and have their thumbs kind of outside, they're just the opposite. Okay. So around close friends and trusted others, it's totally fine to relax your hands in your pockets once in a while. But if you want to make other people feel a bit insecure for whatever reason, sticking your hands deep in your pockets is a surefire way to make them feel very insecure around you. Okay. Um, you probably say, John, I don't know. Well, if somebody is going to do what I just told you, which is to, do the motion that I just told you, which was to take your fingers, okay, and again, you know, taking the important part is basically that they're hiding the thumb, they're hiding the thumb, okay, but if you put the hands in and you keep the thumb out, that indicates confidence. Okay. Um, so if somebody does that, um, I think an important thing to know is that that's good, but sometimes that confidence can turn to arrogance. So that could be a slight problem. What if somebody rubs their neck? They'll do this on the side or back of the neck. You might see some people notch their neck. People do this type of action when they feel insecure or when they feel stressed and they're looking for a way out or something like this. Okay. Um, So when we think about somebody who's maybe holding the center of their throat, that's not a good thing. That's not a good mark to do. Crossed arms, we know what that means. It means that people are basically not open to you. Okay, not open to you. Now, another one, you might have seen the arms folded. You might have seen the arms folded the other way. There's like at least 4, 5, 6 ways you can fold your arms. Right. What if somebody has hunched shoulders? Well, it's not a good health thing to keep doing. And it means that you're defensive and that you're pretty much, on the move and that you're ready to strike. So that's not good. Um, so an interesting type of thing. So what a lot of people sometimes call this is turtling. You ever seen a turtle? They go in their shell and they come out, but then then when they bring their head back in, they go right back in their shell. And so that's like the way they withdraw the shell and they come back in. It's a very defensive position. Forward shoulders can indicate that someone's trying to hide someone or they feel vulnerable since you're closing off uh, your vulnerable neck or chest areas. Maybe you're doing something like this, and that's not good. And they can sense that. Somebody rubs their eyes too much, assuming that it's not allergies. Well, they're prevaricating, they're lying. All right. Um, when somebody, let's say, fidgets with objects, like they take their fingers and they fidget with their watch, and maybe they have a hard day and they're fidgeting around, and it's really annoying if you're meeting with somebody like this. It usually means they're bored, like they kind of want to finish the conversation. So if you see somebody like playing with their watch, you say, I know you probably want to go, so I want to thank you for your time and we'll connect another time. And because it's they're like out to saying, well, gee, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? In fact, some of these famous actors will fidget their fingers. And this is a surefire way that they're bored, they don't know what to do with themselves, and they just wish they weren't in the current situation. Okay. If you want to get out, a very easy way to get out, I should say, of a conversation, just start, playing with your keys or coins in your pocket or hands. Might be rude, but if you really got to go, it's a great way to end the conversation because people will be like, oh, what if somebody touches their ears? Well, if somebody does this, it means that they're anxious. Okay. And so some people could have an itch, but if you see them doing it constantly, probably they're anxious if they don't normally, do that. They don't have an itch, obviously. So that's an important thing. So when we think about body language, we have language that has to do with music. We have hand gestures. We have emblems. We have blocking. We have prosemics, which is how we're standing. We have an interest. We have facial expressions. We have pacifying. We have haptics. We have eye gazing. And then we have ornaments. So there's different types of expressions. And a lot of people don't understand that how they choose to respond with their body can actually set the tone to whether there'll be another meeting or not, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a business meeting. If someone's uncomfortable around you, chances are they're not going to say, hey, I'm uncomfortable. Could you stop that? No. They're usually going to look for a way to get out of that situation. Maybe they're embarrassed, right? And they don't like it. They don't want to confront you. So what do? If you see somebody that is not open, that's somebody that's not paying attention to you, or somebody that's playing with their belt or their hands or their watch or their phone, whatever it is, you're boring. And what they're really saying is, this is more important than you, which is pretty bad. So if you recognize something like that, you could joke around and say, "Ah, I guess I should let you go. My conversation's probably not that interesting, so I'm going to run." Oh, okay. But if they come back, no, 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 I'm just a little nervous because my sister is just got out of the hospital, or so they might say something like that. But realize when you do it in a playful manner, because if you do it in a contemptuous or a very hard manner, people are going to take that as a threat. And then they're going to be like, they don't even want to be around you, right? I knew somebody one time that they couldn't be honest. So the way that they handled this was they'd always have a drink in their hand. Now, regardless of whether they were drinking or not, they were like playing with the drink. Like they either were nervous or they were like, or they were like fidgeting with the drink itself, or they had one of these water bottles and they're playing with the water bottle. But the thing is, the water bottle didn't have water in it; it had alcohol in it. So sometimes people do things to try to make them calm because they're not really sure how the situation's going to go. That's why a lot of times when people say, they want to go on a date the first time, I recommend people not going on a long date. They go on a short date, go out for a drink or just go out for a coffee. If that goes well, then you can move on to something else like bowling or another activity. If it doesn't, say, hey, it was great meeting you. I have to be somewhere at 8, or I have to be somewhere. And it doesn't make the other party feel bad. Maybe we can talk next week. If it went really well, I don't know. Would you be open to hanging out, maybe bowling, or would you want to grab some dinner right now? I'm not sure your schedule. Yeah, I'd be open to dinner. So that's how you have to treat this. You have to be very playful, but you also have to be respectful and non-manipulative. Some people use these tactics to be manipulative, and then you know what happens? They do something or they enact in a certain way they really didn't want to do, but they did it just to con the other person into doing what they want. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to be with you this evening, as it is every single evening. Please go ahead and, yes, like, support. Love my video. Show an insight mark, depending on what social media you're on. Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure, yes, please be sure to comment below. Do you watch what you say? Are you cognizant of body language that you give off? And do you understand other people's body language? Do you know their cues? Do you know when to shut your mouth and leave? Do you know when a conversation should be over? Or do you just kind of keep talking and then you happen to notice that the person is taking steps away? Like, oh, okay. And let me just tell you one more thing. And then you want to get more, but you're so into the conversation that you're not watching the fact that they're almost out of the room and you're not getting the hint. They really want to tell you, hey, I got to go. And then finally, when they get to this, it's like, listen, John, listen, Mike, I got to go. Like for 10 minutes, they were trying to get out of the room. They took a few steps. When they took the first step or two, you should say, well, I got to get going. And then when they see that, that's the kind of thing. And then people are more wanting to talk to you, because if you're somebody that doesn't let somebody go, I had a friend like this one time, and it was in grammar school, and I wanted to get going, but every time I wanted to leave, it was like this long, drawn out conversation. We never could say goodbye. Like, oh, let me tell you one more thing. Let me tell you one more thing. And so when we started saying goodbye at, let's just say it was, I don't know, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, it took like another 30 minutes to actually get out, because I didn't want to be rude, because we were friends, but I had things I had to do, right? So, hey, go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space Morley Space Serial Entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. And then below that, click on that link to PayPal and make the choice to buy my team that cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new staff to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational, inspirational content available on the planet and in this entire galaxy. I hope you have a great rest of your night. you know I'm going to see you tomorrow, which is Thursday, and we'll have some more to talk about on episode 6 and 7. And you may want to rewatch these episodes because there's a lot of useful information that's really important about watching what you say. And saying's not just about what comes out of your mouth, it's what comes out of your body with your language. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening. And I hope that you have found this particular segment today really helpful. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everyone.